Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Cray's Critique. The film that I went to see this week was the newest film starring Mr. Tom Hardy, one of our own, brilliant British actor. And that film is Legend. Now, for those who do not know, because it's not been released internationally really yet, it's just been released in Britain. Legend is a film directed by Brian Helgeland, the writer of films such as LA Confidential and Mystic River, and he's recently dipped his toe into the directing field, if you will. This is the second film being directed, and the film revolved around the rather notorious British gangsters from the 60s, the Kray twins, Ronald and Reggie Kray, with Tom Hardy, of course, playing both twins. Now, this sort of performance from Mr. Tom Hardy is quite extraordinary because, okay, yes, in many aspects people might label it as a bit gimmicky. Oh, look at Tom Hardy is playing two people, two different characters for the whole film, and all you're doing kind of is saying, oh, Tom Hardy's this, Tom Hardy's that, Tom Hardy's this, Tom Hardy's that. And it isn't like that for me. The main strength of this film does revolve around Hardy and his portrayal of each of the twins, of Ronald and Reginald. And because of their such diverse character traits, if you will, Hardy's able to bring different performances to each one. And at first, I must admit, yes, you are a bit aware of him playing two different characters, but as the film progresses, I kind of lost myself in those two characters rather than Hardy playing those characters, if you will, which is the highest compliment I believe I can pay to Hardy as an actor, because it could have been gimmicky, it could have been rather off-putting, but I think he does an absolutely extraordinary job in portraying these two characters. Now, the reason why I'm describing his rather brilliant performance, in my opinion, as both characters, is to sort of off-put what I'm also about to say beyond some other aspects of the film. Now, Brian Helgeland, as like I said, is the director of this film, and he obviously, his previous credits have involved crime, and particularly it has involved crime. As I said, he's written scripts for LA Confidential, Mystic River, and quite urban crime as well. So this sort of thing is really right up his alley. So Hardy's great. I just feel that parts of the film feel like they are, I hate to say borrowed, but they've been either there's highly influenced, and then there's straight out of another film, isn't there? Now, the reason why I mention this is, in particular, there's two scenes in the film that, hey, if you're going to copy the best. And that is that the best, one of the best in my opinion of the gangster flicks is Goodfellas, and it is in particular to the scene where one of the Krays is introducing his possible girlfriend and lady of the evening to fellow friends and gangsters and associates, and they're going through this bar stroke club in the same manner that Ray Liotta went through the club in Goodfellas with Lorraine Bracco. Because it's exactly like it is in Goodfellas. It's a walkthrough in a sense. So, yes, that's okay, right. I appreciate you've seen the best and would like to do something similar. Okay. The only other problem with the film really is it is a bit too by the numbers, and I can say that because I've seen so many gangster films. If I had not maybe seen as many as I have, I think it would be a lot more fresher, and I would possibly, regarding aspects of the film, I'd enjoy them more. But the way it's structured is pretty standard, and it's not unexpected. Is it not unexpected? Sorry, that's a bit of a weird description. it can be expected. I've really just ruined that bit, really. Sorry about that. So, yeah, the structure is a bit safe, but hey, the music's great. It's once again, the way they utilise the music is similar to sort of something that you do like with Goodfellas. And the other scene I'm referring to, because I said obviously there was two scenes that reminded me of Goodfellas. One was the, like I say, the walkthrough in the club. The second is where there's a crime being committed, and they go round to their mum's house, and the tension is there clearly between the brothers, with the mum unsuspecting. Similarly high in comparison to the scene with Joe Pesci and De Niro and Ray Liotta, where they've gone round to Pesci's mum's house after a crime has been committed and something needs to be done. Very, very similar. I mean, it's very, very similar. I'm going to read other reviews to see if anybody else has picked up on those sort of things, but those were my opinions. Like I said, if you're going to copy from the best. So, yeah, it is without doubt a Hardy's film, but that's not to say he's the only good performer in the film. Emily Browning actually has a really decent support as Reggie's wife in the film. Frances Shay, I think was her character. And she portrays herself very delicately but strong-minded, and is in a very, very effective performance by her. And the rest of the cast is almost like a extremely well-rounded British cast, if you will, with the likes of Christopher Eccleston in there. And particularly David Thewlis, who has a great role as sort of like the wheeler dealer, but more trying to portray the Krays as a sort of a brand and a business, and therefore Ronald is not as trusting as him as Reggie is. He has a great role and has some great funny moments in the film in regard to his interaction with both the brothers, particularly Ronald. So, yeah, some nice support in there. Chaz Palminteri as well pops up as well as an American gangster, which is, you know what, perfect casting, isn't he? Let's be fair, he's portrayed gangsters before, and he's that sort of actor, so nicely chosen, in my opinion. Like I said, some nice supporting British cast, but it is Hardy's film. It's completely Hardy's film. If Hardy isn't in the film isn't as effective as it could be. So yeah, hey, it is, by the numbers, it is safe, but Hardy is the key ingredient that makes the film work, and is worth your attention and your time to view it. So there we go. Yeah, Legend was my theatrical release film of the week. So my classic film of the week is a film almost as far away as... No, it's not as far away, but in terms of its style and what it portrays is completely different. Only on a smaller, more domestic level. Not quite as a high-ranked violent gangster sort of film. The film is, and I'm going to show you what it is, actually, in fact, it is Kramer vs. Kramer, which of course stars Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, and it revolves around a relationship breakdown and then the custody hearing of their son, Justin Henry. What occurs at the beginning of the film is Meryl Streep is clearly about to leave Dustin Hoffman. He's coming home from work, he's an absolute workaholic character, and isn't even aware of what is going on with his wife. She breaks the news, he's like, oh no, yeah, we can sort this out. And she's like, no, I have to go, and then she leaves, but actually without the son, and leaves Justin Hoffman to cope with and look after their son, Justin Henry. And it was really Meryl Streep who did all the sort of family work, beginning household chores and shopping, obviously, and things like that, and taking care and to school and back regarding their son. And so this is all new to Dustin Hoffman, and he has to adjust. And it is an absolute fascinating portrayal of that sort of character and that sort of relationship with the son. It is really, really fascinating, because not many films portray this sort of thing on screen, and this well, probably, as well. So the young actor as well, Justin Henry in the role, is truly fabulous, because you believe that relationship. You believe that relationship. And I believe the work off screen was almost as important as on screen that Hoffman did with Henry. The way they interacted off screen. So yeah, that's really, really good. It is beautifully scripted. It is beautiful. And it is, like I was saying before, regarding the structure of a film, it is perfectly structured as well, regarding aspects of it. The way the film progresses. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes as well. And to get that sort of information and that sort of story told in that sort of time is brilliantly done by the director, Robert Benson. So, it was also written by him actually as well, I realised the other day, and I didn't even realise, which is even more extraordinary. I suppose he was able to structure it brilliantly. I believe also at the time of filming this, there was, particularly Hoffman was going through a lengthy divorce procedure, so that obviously helped contribute to his sort of performance in this film, and you can see it on screen. The film was nominated for numerous Oscars. It was absolutely critically revered and commercially successful, and I think critically you can understand it because it's such a performance-based film. The financial aspect is really interesting because that sort of film you wouldn't think would garner a large audience, but clearly it's the sort of film that connected with people because it's stuff they're going through themselves, so it's real life drama. So yeah, it connected there, and with critics it absolutely connected. Like I say, it was nominated for numerous Oscars. I think it won Best Film, Best Actor, and Best... I'm not sure if it won Best Supporting Actress, but I'm pretty certain that it won sort of the major awards. So yeah, I think Kramer vs. Kramer is one of those absolutely key films in its own genre. It is almost the pinnacle of that family relationship drama, and it is perfectly edited. It is perfectly written. It is perfectly performed by Streep and Hoffman, and wonderful young performance by Justin Henry. Like I say, Gene Alexander is a great support as a friend at first of Meryl Streep's character, who then grows in friendship with Dustin Hoffman. And yeah, and the ending of it, oh my god, it's fabulous. It is truly fabulous. I obviously can't describe it because obviously it spoils it, but yeah, Kramer vs. Kramer. It's a great film, and it's worthy of a classic film status in my opinion. So please do watch it, and yeah, I think it's one of those films that should be watched by a large audience. So there we go. Kramer vs. Kramer was my classic film of the week. And Legend, the Kray gangster biopic, the Kray twins biopic, was my theatrical release film of the week, with great performance by Tom Hardy. So there we go. That's my reviews of the week, and I do hope you subscribe to me, and I hope to see and speak to you again sometime soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.